The best original productions by HBO find homes at ViuTVSix. The lineup includes hit comedy drama series Entourage, big budget mobster TV show Boardwalk Empire, critically acclaimed crime drama True Detective, high-octane globe-spanning thriller Strike Back. Now TV presents HBO originals every Sunday, Tuesday to Friday night at 10:30. Enjoy the awesome hand-picked series on ViuTVSix.
Welcome back. There's a worrying skills gap in the cyber defence industry as our lives become increasingly intertwined with the online world. As Rosanna Philpott reports, there's a movement to cultivate a new generation of school-age cyber defenders.
It's a complex, destructive and evolving threat. But the skills gap to fight hacking is equally as vast. Here to fill the hole, 14-year-old schoolboy Otto from London and his generation of cyber defenders.
I think there really should be a bit more education as to how to keep yourself safe. People just rush forward to develop some technology like a sort of internet-enabled smart fridge. They don't actually consider the security considerations because they don't have an awareness of the fact that the smart fridge could be hacked.
This room of teenage coders are defending a drone food delivery company against malicious hackers. None of it's real, though. They're all contestants in a cybersecurity championship. The prize could be an internship with the organizer, US defense giant and stealth bomber manufacturer Northrop Grumman.
So best of luck to every one of you. Congratulations. We need far more defenders to ward off against these more complex cyber threat. And it's coming from everywhere, and it's rapidly evolving. So there's a lot of sense of urgency in getting children more interested in this field.
90 minutes.
Even if they don't win, skills like these open doors in cyber defense, architecting cyber solutions or forensics. Good news for the cybersecurity industry, where Northrop Grumman says 1.5 million jobs will go unfilled in the next year. Or, as Otto's teacher says, they could always start up their own company.
20 years ago, Google didn't exist. It was two guys at college who started it. Apple 40 years ago didn't exist. It was two guys in their garage. And it's very much, why should I work for somebody else? I can do the stuff that I'm interested in.
A new generation dealing with a new era of threats.
There's no end in sight to the protests in Venezuela, it seems. Tens of thousands of women took to the streets on Saturday protesting against President Nicolas Maduro. Havovi Cooper reports.
Dressed in white and chanting liberty, tens of thousands of women opposed to Venezuela's socialist president Nicolas Maduro marched across the country on Saturday, presenting flowers to security forces who blocked their way. Women have often felt the brunt of Venezuela's debilitating economic crisis, waiting in long lines at shops, dealing with food and medicine shortages.
There are no opportunities to work here, no opportunities to live. There is no security for our lives.
Opposition protests over the last 5 weeks have often started peacefully but degenerated into violence. At least 37 people have died, over 700 injured, and scores arrested in the widespread unrest. Through the protests, Venezuela's opposition, which has majority support, is demanding that delayed state elections be held and the 2018 presidential vote be brought forward. Polls show the ruling socialists would badly lose any conventional vote.
The Palestinian movement Hamas has elected Ismail Haniyeh to head its political office as the group appears to soften its stance towards Israel. Haniyeh, a former deputy chief, will replace Qatar-based veteran Khalid Meshal. This comes shortly after Hamas dropped its call for Israel's destruction and severed ties with the Muslim Brotherhood. More than 160 African migrants were rescued by the Libyan Coast Guard on Saturday. They were found off the northeast coast of Tripoli and were taken to a naval base to the capital city. Libya is the main departure point for migrants hoping to reach Europe by sea. Dozens of civilians were stuck on the bank of Mosul's Tigris River after flooding blocked all crossing points between the east and west. It has forced the military to dismantle the makeshift bridges linking the two sides of Iraq's second largest city. Special guest at the premiere of the latest sci-fi movie, Alien Covenant. A German-designed private moon rover made its debut there for the sequel to the 2012 film Prometheus, before heading off for a journey to the moon later this year. Amy Pollock has the story.
An unusual character has made its debut at the premiere of Alien Covenant in London. This space rover is set to reach the moon later this year, as well as featuring in the latest instalment of the sci-fi franchise.
It has been 40 to 50 years since we have been on the moon. So getting back there, getting the knowledge again, is quite of a challenge that we are facing.
The Audi Lunar Quattro rover is mostly made of aluminium and weighs in at just 30 kilograms. Its hybrid engine is powered by a 100-watt solar panel, technology that comes from its German car maker Backer.
The rover has 4 wheels which can be steered independently, which allows us to turn on the spot and drive sideways. It also has 3 cameras, 2 of which are for regular stereo vision, and 1 is a scientific camera which allows us to analyze the moon buggy.
Designers, part-time scientists hope to get the rover close to the landing site of the last manned mission to the moon, Apollo 17.
There's always a saying that one of your calculators has more calculation power than the Apollo astronauts had for landing. And if you look at today's technology, everything is very power efficient, very small, and readily available for us.
The Lunar Quattro is set to join a mission to the moon by the end of the year. It will be one of the first privately funded rovers to do so.
Next up, the latest news from the world of sports. Former England international and Crystal Palace captain Jeff Thomas is swapping out the football for 2 wheels. He's attempting to ride all 3 grand cycling tours as a way to raise money for leukemia research after recovering from the cancer himself. Here's Adam Reid with the story.
From stadiums to saddles, Crystal Palace have been throwing their support behind one of their own as he embarks on a huge 2-wheeled challenge. Jeff Thomas spent a memorable 7 years at Selhurst Park before overcoming leukemia since retirement. Now the club are helping him and his new team take on cycling's toughest challenge by riding all 3 grand tours back to back.
Some of the guys are really strong on the bike and they're very excited about what's ahead. I am scared to death. Every day is going to be torture. It's for a great cause, and that's what I always remember in the back of my mind of where I was back in 2003 when I was diagnosed with the illness, and how hard I had to fight to get back to fitness. But along the way, I met too many people who weren't as fortunate as me, so they're my inspirations.
Thomas famously captained Palace to the FA Cup final in 1990 and a 3rd-place top-flight finish a year later. He's fought back from his own personal battle with leukemia, and his efforts are being well appreciated by his former club.
Starting off in Italy and trekking away on his bike all through those countries, doing thousands and thousands and thousands of miles. He's a fantastic man and doing it for a great cause that he recovered from many years ago, I'm glad to say.
The aim of such a brutal expedition is to raise more than $1.2 million for blood cancer leukemia research. It all starts this week with the Giro d'Italia. The centenary course is a particularly tough one, including some pretty big mountain climbs during the 21 stages. All before the team head on to France and Spain, on their way to completing a total of nearly 10,500 kilometres.
The way I look at it is that when you're in pain on a bike, you get off, the pain goes. You don't get that opportunity when you're in the treatment, and that's what drives you on, really. The minute you stop pushing the pedals, it's not quite as sore, but you know, you're not having to then sort of take another load of chemotherapy and stuff like that.
The terrain being undertaken by those taking on the 3-tour challenge is some of the most beautiful but demanding in all of Europe. The finishing lines are taking place in Milan, Paris and Madrid, and now with the support of a Premier League football side behind them, now all that's left is to get to the finish line.
To golf now, American Patrick Reed shot a 5 under par 67 to earn the lead after the 3rd round of Wells Fargo Championship. The 5-time PGA Tour winner finished 54 holes at 8 under 208, but barely missing an eagle putt and settling for a 2-putt birdie at the final hole. He is now 1 stroke up on Spaniard John Rahm and Swede Alex Noren. 4,500 runners from 36 countries participated in the 13th Taipei 101 Run-Up, where they raced up 2,046 steps for the finishing line on the 91st floor of the Taipei 101 Tower. That's ranked the 8th tallest building in the world. Hundreds of dogs trotted alongside their humans in a charity run to raise money in Bangkok. The first of its kind dog marathon included obstacle courses, was set up so that canines can help their companions as opposed to the other way around. Very cute indeed. Well, that's it for this edition of ViuTV News. Join us tomorrow at 7 for an update on the stories shaping your world. I'm Britt, Clennett. Good night.
Coming up next, Changing Faces. There are magicians in the world who create bridges. They have the power to connect heaven, earth, and us together. They build bridges with knowledge to introduce you to the ancient thinkers, intellectuals. They conquer the highest wall with even higher morals and values. Nothing can override the truth anymore. By using imagination to connect our consciousness, we can all dream the same dream. There will be no strangers and borders anymore, because we are that bridge. Brand new English language channel ViuTVSix is officially launched. 5 cash-strapped co-workers become unlikely millionaires.
We're very proud to announce... How long have you been in the syndicate?
We're millionaires, Leon.
We're multi-millionaires.
Multi-millionaires! We won the bloody lottery!
Good fortune has a price.
I'm arresting you, Leah Powell, on suspicion of child abduction.
If you don't want to be with me, you can piss off. People that know I've got money, I've won the lottery, they're kidnapped, they're just gonna... Daisy!
How could you do that to your own flesh and blood?
The Syndicate, Monday night at 10:30 on ViuTV6.
Who are you?
FBI.
An elite team that analyzes the most twisted criminal minds.
What, you think all we do is serial killers? Trust me. We cover the whole spectrum of psychos.
OMG.
Oh my God.
Anticipating the perpetrator's next moves before they can strike.
How does one collect love? Rage, hatred, fear. These are things that we're trained to